Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha. Okay, two questions that you might have. Okay, if not, then we will proceed through the steps. Okay, the 9 steps. What's the first step? Equalizing self and others. The first step, equalizing self and others, meaning that the self and others, we are equal. So this practice finally will come to the level where we're able to cherish others more than oneself. This is the final the phase. So to reach to this level, to reach to this level, we cannot jump directly in the air. So first we have to know the situation that we are in now. The situation of ourselves, our thinking at this moment. At this moment, so what is the tendency? What's the tendency? Thinking of others, or thinking of me and others as equal, thinking of others more important than me, or thinking of myself as more important than others. Which is the trend of our thinking at the moment? Me more important than others. Okay, this is known as self-centered attitude. And this self-centered attitude, which thinks of the self as more important than others, this is the one which attracts the miseries. Right? Okay, now, so thus far we've been talking about the self-grasping ignorance is the one which attracts the miseries. Now we are saying that self-centered attitude, which sees oneself as more important than others, is the one which attracts all the miseries. So, how is it true? Both of them. How both of them are true. This is the point. So for that, I'd like to share with you one very important point. And even if you think that you don't get it, don't worry. Just listen to this and then see that how much you can get it. And even if you don't get it at this point, just listen to this. You will, the seed will be implanted. And because later on, when you hear this thing, you'll find it easy and also very beneficial. Okay, so let's say, how many of you like flowers? Raise your hands. Okay, how many of you don't? How many of you flower is so? Raise your hands. Flower is so, it doesn't. So I have flower is good, no flower is fine. Okay, so let's say that, and then there is a third category who dislikes flower. Right? Not here. So some people, they like flower crazy. They love like crazy. They love flowers. Other people, so it's fine. And third category, they dislike flowers. And some people say, even the curtain, it's also flower, design with flower, they don't like it. Right? Okay. So what I'm saying is that, say, if there are two groups, group A and group B. Group A likes flowers so much. Group B dislikes flowers so much, let's say. And both of them are dreaming. You getting it? Okay, let's say let's not dreaming. So group A and group B, both are there. Group A likes flowers so much. Group B does not like flower at all. In fact, dislikes flower. Okay. Now, imagine that you're group A and I'm group B. right? And I show this to you. What is this? What is my response? Hey, what is this? Hey, you're Group A, I'm Group B, I'm the neutral person. Group A, what is this?
Beautiful flower.
Beautiful flower. Group B, if you ask this question, if I ask this question to Group B, what's the response? What's this?
Yes.
No. I did not ask, should I take it or not take? This is not my question.
They don't like it?
You should know the question. My question is, what is this? You said this is a flower. Group B, if I ask them, what is the answer? This is flower. So both of you see this as a flower. You're getting it? Both of you see this as a flower. Okay. Now, say that okay. Both of you see this as a flower. Now what is the difference? Then I ask you, do you like it? Then what is your response? Yes, we like it. If we ask the same question to second group B, what is their response? No, we don't like it. You're getting it? Say what they cognize, what they know is that they know the same object. But how they respond is very different. You're getting it? You're getting it? Do you follow this? They know the same object. What is this? Both groups say that this is flower. Then the reaction. Do you like this? Group A says, yes, I like it. Group B says, no, we don't like it. Take it away. We don't like it. You're getting it? When it comes to reaction, it's very different. When it comes to cognition meaning to know, both know the same thing. You're getting it? Okay. Now, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. The difference between self-grasping and self-centered attitude. Okay, let's say that now let us say you see okay. Okay, let's say that there is a picture of a flower, and then it's little dim light. It's actually not a real flower, it's just a picture of a flower. And Group A and Group B, we can see that this is both of us, because of the dimness and the picture of the flower is so real, we see it as a flower, both sides. Okay, Group A, what do you see there? Flower. Group B, what do you see there? Flower. Okay, are these two mistaken or these two are valid minds? They're seeing the picture of the flower as real flower. Mistaken minds. Okay, now what is your reaction? Group A's reaction? We want it. We are fond of flowers. Group B, what is Group B's reaction? We don't like it. Your reaction is different. You're getting it? Okay, so whereas if I'm neutral, I don't like flowers, it's not that I like flowers, I don't hate flowers. Oh, if there's flowers, it's fine. If there's no flowers, it's fine. Right? For me, it's neutral. Now, what is my reaction to it? What is there? I mistakenly see it as a flower. Although it's just a picture of flower, I mistakenly see this as a flower. Is this mistaken or this is correct?
Mistaken.
This is cognitively mistaken. Cognitively meaning how I see it is mistaken. Cognitively is mistaken. Now my reaction what? Reaction is neutral. Your reaction is attachment. You're getting it? Why attachment? Well, how would you say this? I like this. I like flower. You're getting it? Okay. Now, if you see that this is just a picture, this is just a picture of a flower, not a real flower, then, okay, I'm looking for a flower, not just a picture, I'm looking for a real flower. So there, you see that it's not a real flower, then your attachment dissolves. When you see this real flower, then attachment arises. So first, in both cases, I'm also mistaken, you're also mistaken. Both of us mistake this to be the picture of the flower to be a real flower. This is what? Cognitively mistaken mind. So this is analogous to the self-grasping ignorance. Seeing the flower as objectively real. Self-grasping. Self does not necessarily mean person. Self-grasping, we speak about this word, self-grasping ignorance all the time, the last 2 days. Self-grasping ignorance When you speak of the self, it is not necessarily person. Self can also refer to the flower. Self can also refer to the house, to anything else. Because we see that the flower is red from its own self. Can I say this in English? Can I say this? The flower is red. The flower is red from its own side, from its own self. If the flower is red by itself, is it proper English or bad English? It's a proper English. So the flower is red by itself. The flower is red by itself. So use the word self with the flower, right? And the house is very beautiful by itself. You don't have to color it. The house is very beautiful by itself. So again, we use the word self to the house, right? And the tree is so green by itself. The tree is so green by itself. So we use the word self to even the non-persons. So the self here, self-grasping ignorance, is also necessarily grasped at the person, right? It can grasp the flower to the object real, that is not self-grasping. The selfhood of the flower to the object real, that is self-grasping ignorance of the flower. Self-grasping ignorance of the tree. What do you mean by self-grasping ignorance of the tree? What do you understand by self-grasping ignorance of the tree? Seeing the tree as objectively real. Okay, this is what we have to know. Seeing Kippa's Bodhicitta as seeing the self-grasping ignorance of the Kippa's Bodhicitta. What does it mean? What does it mean by that? Seeing the Kippa's Bodhicitta as objectively real. Right? Okay. Seeing self-grasping ignorance of the pen. What does it mean by self-grasping ignorance of the pen? Seeing the pen as object real. As simple as that. Right? So you don't have to worry too much about self-grasping ignorance. It is grasping self. You don't think about that. Self here means is a short form of selfhood. Selfhood, objective self. Objective self. Self. Grasping means holding to the objective self of the flower, objective self of the person, objective self of the flags, objective self of your parents, and so forth. Right? Okay. So now, oh, what is that? The vapor?
Ah, okay, thank you.
What is that?
It's the
hot water.
We fill the water. I fill the water and
It's
now
boiling
it's
now?
it's
Boiling water.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's self-grasping by itself. It's
No, if you see it as objectively real, then it's self-grasping
yeah,
of the cattle
yeah.
to the objectively real.
I
Right?
see.
Okay. So with this, the point is, okay, say, okay, how many of you like cheesecakes? Oh, is it cheesecake? Okay, how many you like the, what is that, the falafel? Falafel? How many like falafel? How many you don't like falafel? So? Okay, let's say falafel. And then what is the hummus? Okay, how many of you don't like hummus? How many of you don't like meaning? How many of you are not crazy after hummus? Okay, how many of you are crazy after hummus? Crazy after hummus. Okay. So I think falafel is better. Falafel is half. Okay, let's say, now imagine, this is very important. What am I trying to do? What am I trying to tell you? Tell me. Do you remember?
Yeah. Nothing has its own real,
Huh?
The difference between self-grasping ignorance and self-centered.
Very good. Thank you. This is what I'm trying to tell you. The difference between self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. You getting it? Okay, this is the best thing. Now, let us say that today is what? 19th. Yes? Today is 19th. Okay, 19th night we sleep. 19th night we sleep. And then we start dreaming. We start dreaming of, okay, is 22nd we leave? 21st we leave. Huh?
Yeah.
21st we leave. Okay. 19th night you dream. We all dream of leaving on 22nd. 21st. We all dream of leaving on 21st. Okay, now this is the completion of Bodhicitta retreat. Now we will go to have a falafel. In the dream. You're getting it? We go to have a falafel. Okay, but raise your hands, those who are not so keen on falafel, raise your hands. Those who are not so keen on falafel, only 2, 3. Okay, those who are very keen on falafel, raise your hands. 1. What is that? The others?
Different question, but not very.
Huh?
We like it, but not.
Okay. You are
Change the
like.
question.
Okay, so the one is that who is more like neutral to falafel? Raise your hands. If you get it, it's fine. If you don't get it, it's fine. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, fine. And who really likes it? Okay, 1, 2. Okay, very good. Let's say who really likes it and who. Okay. So, right? Let's say 2. Now we say this program, Bodhicitta retreat, the coordinator, manager, Bodhicitta retreat, 2018 manager, Leon, right?
Yeah.
So Leon said, okay, now we will all go to have falafel because I like falafel. So she takes us to we are dreaming. In the dream, she takes us to the falafel restaurant, right? Okay, now the restaurant person brings falafel for all of us. Okay. Imagine each one of you are dreaming the same dream. We're having the shared dream. Imagine. This is very important. Don't take it lightly, right? Okay. Now, tell me, what are you dreaming? You're holding the falafel in your hand. You're getting it? Or the falafel, the waiter is bringing the falafel. Okay. This falafel, is it a dream falafel or a real falafel? Dream falafel. You getting it? Because it is dream falafel, who made this falafel? Your own mind made it. You getting it? But when you see it as a real falafel or a dream falafel? In a dream, you see it's real. Is that mistaken or is not mistaken? Is that ignorance or wisdom? Ignorance. You see the dream falafel as an objectively real falafel. You're getting it? Okay, this is the self-grasping ignorance. Now, the self-centered attitude. Right? Okay. Okay, the rest of you who are not so keen on falafel, right? Okay, so is Leon, she likes it. So therefore she took us here. Otherwise we could have enjoyed the hummus. Huh? No, what else?
I said trina.
Huh?
Trina is like hummus.
Okay, Krina? Krina. Tahini. Okay, let's say, otherwise we have gone to take tahini. So she told us fine. We don't really like falafel. Okay, so whereas the Isaac and the okay, 3, right? Okay, Isaac and Leon, 2 of them, they are so excited. The falafel comes, right? For these 5 days we do not get the falafel, right? For the 5 days we did not get falafel. They are so excited, and others, okay, neutral, so. Okay, now what happens? Isaac and Leon, their mind is pulled by the falafel. What is that pull? I want it. Who want it? I want it. So first, you see the dream falafel as a real falafel. Who sees that? You, 2 of them, or we, all of us? We are all of us. This is the self-grasping ignorance. On top of that, now 2 of them, the additional thing is, I want it. I want it. This is self-centered attitude. This is acting now. So the seeing the dream falafel as the real falafel, who created this? Our deception, our ignorance creates this. So the self-grasping ignorance, it creates the dream falafel as the real falafel. Right? Once it creates this, then the self-centered attitude plays on this. Right? Self-centered attitude, I want it. You're getting it? I want it. So first, what the self-grasping ignorance creates a shop. Then self-centered attitude goes to choose it. I want it. Right? So this is how self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude work together. Right? And those who dislike, those who hate falafel, right? They are pushed by the falafel. Right? How come they really want to go to the falafel? Right? So they are pushed. Again, you push why? Self-centered attitude. I don't want it. You're getting it? So self-grasping ignorance creates the shop. The self-centered attitude goes to choose. Choose and run away, and choose either follow that, chase after the object, or run away from the object. So that is what the self-centered attitude does. So in other words, for example, say this flower, oh, this flower exists objectively or subjectively? Oh, of course objectively. Of course objectively. This is self-grasping ignorance or what? Seeing the flower is objectively real. Self-grasping ignorance. You like it? No, it doesn't. And someone, no, it's so beautiful, I like it. Right? It's so beautiful, I like it. Which means self-grasping ignorance already created the flower as objectively real. Then the self-centered attitude is, I like it. Then the attachment arises. If you dislike it, I don't like it. Aversion arises. You're getting it? So self-grasping, the self-centered attitude, when these two are together, then the afflictions arise. Attachment, anger, jealousy, fear, anxiety, all these arise out of these two things. So these two things must work together. If you don't have the self-grasping ignorance, if you don't have self-grasping, if you don't see this flower as objectively real, then self-grasping ignorance is not there. If the self-grasping ignorance is not there, then the self-centered attitude cannot say that I want it. Because, to say that I want it, you have to see this as objectively real. One.
But the other way around is possible, isn't it?
Now the second thing is also possible. If the self-grasping ignorance is there, but self-centered attitude is not there, again, I want this will not happen. You getting it? So to have the attachment, the gross afflictions, self-grasping ignorance is a very subtle affliction. To have the gross afflictions like attachment, anger, jealousy, fear, and so forth, we need these two things together. Self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude, these two things should act together. Self-grasping ignorance should create a shop, and self-centered attitude go to pick this up. I want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I want this. Right? So these two should work together in order to have the gross afflictions. These gross afflictions will then give rise to, say, fear, anxiety, tension, anguish, and all these things are created. And because of this, then you go into accumulating negative karmas. And the karmas will give rise to the miseries. You getting it? Okay. So now do you see the difference between the self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude? Right? Okay. Now I'll give you another example. After this, then I would like you to share with us your examples. You're getting? I'll give one example, and this is going to be more interactive. Or let's say that somebody who is very fond of snakes, but less number of people. There are people who is fond of. It's amazing. In some places, even though some babies, they're not afraid of the snakes. Big pythons. The babies, they sleep with the python. The python also doesn't do anything to the baby. Baby touch the python like this. Right? So if this is the baby who likes the python so much or the snake so much, right? Say that it is a situation is like little dark, dusk before the night, little dark, and the place is frequented with snakes, right? Snakes very frequently seen around, and then next to your place, actually in actuality, there is a rope, coiled rope, right? And because you know that there are so many snakes around, you have seen many snakes around, and then it's a little dark, and particularly if you took a nap, and your eyes are a little hazy, and then you walk out, you see, oh, there's a snake there. There's a snake there. You're getting it? And you and the other person who likes snake, and you who do not like snake, both of you see, oh, there's a snake there. Is that ignorance, or this is the valid mind? This ignorance. So in both cases, you who does not like the snake, other person who like the snake, in both cases there's ignorance. Then what is your reaction? You run away, and the other person, he feels very compassionate, right? It may bite you, so therefore being cautious, but being very compassionate, not throwing stones like this, very compassionate, trying to let it, think of letting it go very peacefully. Okay, your reaction is run away. You're getting it? Okay, tell me. First, seeing the rope as a snake, is this analogy for the self-centered attitude or self-grasping ignorance? Self-grasping ignorance. Now second, the reaction, right? I don't want to be with the snake, you run away. Right? This is self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance. Self-centered attitude. So this is how, right? If you don't see the rope as a snake at all, you see the rope as a rope, then you will not run away. So the fear will not arise, aversion will not arise. Although the self-centered attitude is there, but because self-grasping is not there, the aversion does not rise. Now, even if there's a snake, even if you see the rope as a snake, but if you don't have this, say the self-centered attitude, again you be cautious, but the fear will not arise in you, right? The fear, aversion will not arise. You be cautious. Okay. So only when these two things are together, self-grasping ignorance, self-centered, these two are together, then the fear, aversion, attachment, all these emotions will arise. Okay. With this, do you see the distinction between self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude a little bit? You see the distinction? This distinction is very important. With this in mind, Bodhicitta practice is to subdue the self-centered attitude, not the self-grasping ignorance. You getting it? What will subdue the self-grasping ignorance?
Wisdom.
Wisdom of emptiness subdue the self-grasping ignorance. It will not subdue the self-centered attitude. Don't forget it. Right? Wisdom of emptiness will not subdue the self-centered attitude. Okay, tell me, arahats. What do you mean by arahats? Hey, what is arahat? Anyone?
Liking, somebody liking.
Huh?
One who attained nirvana.
Somebody who has attained nirvana, somebody who has reached, somebody who has gotten rid of the self-grasping ignorance. You getting it? Somebody who has gotten rid of the self-grasping ignorance. Okay, now this person does not have the self-grasping ignorance. Why this person is not yet achieved Buddhahood? Why not? Because still the person has a self-centered attitude. You getting it? So even though you have already gotten rid of the self-grasping ignorance with the very powerful wisdom of emptiness, non-dual wisdom of emptiness, but the self-centered attitude is not gotten rid of. It's still there with that person. So therefore, the person is not achieved total enlightenment, Buddhahood. You getting it? So wisdom of emptiness will get rid of the self-grasping ignorance. It will not get rid of the self-centered attitude. To get rid of the self-centered attitude, we need the Bodhicitta. You getting it? Okay, now, technically speaking, with the force of the Bodhicitta, with Bodhicitta, then the wisdom of emptiness can take a very different, power. It can eradicate even the subtle self-centered attitude. It can. But with the wisdom of emptiness, just with the wisdom of emptiness, not with the Bodhicitta, it cannot get rid of the self-centered attitude. You getting it? Okay. Now the next point that we need to keep in mind is that self-centered attitude. Okay. Tell me, arahats, those who have already achieved nirvana, those who have already gotten eradicated self-grasping ignorance, who are yet to achieve Buddhahood. So those arahats, Do they have self-grasping ignorance?